Oh, it's so good. Madison Keys won her first ever Grand Slam Down Under and then properly partied after posting this on Instagram, herself popping champagne on the beach in Australia. But she has now returned to the States just today to continue her celebration. And how lucky are we to be joined by Australian Open champ Madison Keys. A little party on the beach, as we just showed. Now you're back in the States. I know you're making your rounds, but how does the party carry over?
Um, Honestly, I just wanna take a nap.
I totally get that. You're probably very tired. You did a lot out there in Australia. But I wanted to ask you, because I saw the trophy, do you get to keep the Louis Vuitton trunk with the trophy?
That was actually my first question, and they were like, "No, that one
Oh
stays with us," and I was like,
no.
"Damn it."
That would have been really cool. But at least you get the most important part, which is, of course, the trophy. So let's talk about the win. You've won 10 Women's Tennis Association singles titles. This is your most significant out of all of them. How did this win compare to the others?
This is the one that you dream of when you're a kid, and this is the one that everyone always talks about, but I feel like everything has kind of led to this moment, and to be able to finally hold a Grand Slam trophy is just it's unbelievable, and I'm so happy, and, I can't believe I get to take home this beautiful trophy.
Yeah, you've had a very long journey, I'll say. You had an injury last year. You had gotten to a Grand Slam final before, and you weren't sure if you'd ever get the chance to play for one again. What would you say were the biggest obstacles that you had to overcome to get this win?
I think I've obviously dealt with a lot of injuries in my career, and then I the US Open final that I lost was not a match that I was super proud of and kind of had a lot of regret around. And then the semifinals at the US Open in 2023, I walked away and just was so devastated and walked away with so much regret. And there was just so much self-talk about in my, it kind of just became a core belief of maybe I'll never get back there again. If I don't, then maybe I haven't lived up to my potential. And I really just kind of had to work through that and get to the point where I was proud of myself and everything that I've accomplished before and having never won a Grand Slam. And then it was finally once I got to that point, I felt like I was able to actually go out and play free and play, probably the highest level that I've ever been able to sustain over 2.5 weeks.
So knowing that, when you went into the Australian Open, obviously you have a goal to win it all, but was that your mindset going into it?
Honestly, my mindset this whole kind of Australian Open swing was really just working on all of the things that we had been doing in preseason and being able to actually implement that into matches, because that's always kind of the hard thing. You do things so great in practice and then you get into matches and it feels like all of that has completely left your body. So that was really my only goal going into the Aussie Open. And I felt like if I could do that consistently, then I could play some good tennis and I could start actually potentially being a contender for the title. And, as win after win, it's just the confidence started to grow.
I love that. So post win, we just talked about it. You talked about how your team believed in you when you didn't believe in yourself. One person on that team is your husband. So what's it like being able to work with him and then now obviously win with him?
It's so incredible to be able to have achieved this level of success and be able to do that with my husband. It's just, that it doesn't happen for most people to be able to get to the height of your sport and also look over and have your significant other there and get to share it with him. So it's been so much fun getting to work together. He used to play himself, so we didn't see very much of each other. And the fact that we actually get to spend time together now is also very nice.
Spend a lot of time together, I'd imagine. I know you guys just got married in 2024. You guys are doing house renovations, so I'm sure there's a lot going on. I want to talk about your friend Tiafo, Francis Tiafo, because you issued a text ban to him during the Open because his past texts you said have brought bad luck at the tournaments. Can you please explain that situation?
So for however many years now, Francis would always text me at like the quarters or the semis, and I was always losing the next round. And we had gotten to the point where I finally said, do not text me. I don't want to hear from you until the end of a tournament. And he followed through on that when I won the title in Adelaide the week before the Australian Open. And then I actually saw him on site. I think it was like after my third round. And I looked at him and I said, do not text me, do not call me, do not DM me, nothing. I don't want to hear from you at all. Just leave me alone. And he followed through on that.
I
So
love that. I'm
thank
glad he
you.
did that. It's almost like the Drake curse. So just don't text her at all. Let her win, and then you can text her after. I want to talk about something that I saw today. The reason that you started playing tennis in 1995, Venus Williams wore a white Reebok dress to Wimbledon. You saw it, and then what happened?
I saw the dress and I asked my mom and I said, can I have that? And she was like, well, it's a tennis dress. You have to play tennis in order to have it. And I was like, perfect, sign me up. I'm in. And I mean, at 4 years old, she was like, yeah, okay, I'm sure this is going to die. But it was weeks later and I was like, wait, where's my tennis dress? And my mom was like, okay, I guess we're going to start playing tennis. And I just fell in love, and all of these years later, I'm still playing.
I love that. Does Venus know that that's the reason that you started playing tennis?
She definitely does.
Okay.
The first time I met her, I was like, you've got great, great fashion. So you're the reason that I'm here.
Listen, I talk about style all the time on this show, and that's the reason why, okay? You can influence the younger generation. So for those that don't know, you love coffee. You've been doing latte art. How did this become something that you started?
I've always really loved coffee. I think it was probably because from a young age, my mom always had a cup of coffee in her hand. Started drinking it really young. And then being on the road, being in Europe, being in Australia, they have just some of the best coffee in the world. And I slowly got more and more into it. And then my husband is also obsessed with it. So we've slowly bought the espresso machines, we've bought all the gadgets, and now it's just like a full-blown obsession. And it's just honestly one of my favorite parts of every morning.
It looks beautiful. I have definitely got to step my coffee game up because I just have a little Nespresso. I'm not doing all that. I'm not even frothing my milk, but I need to do a little bit better so that I maybe can eventually win a Grand Slam. It won't happen.
There's
Madison,
probably a
thank you so
correlation in
much.
that.
Exactly. Madison, congratulations again, and thank you so much for joining us on SportsCenter.
Thank you.